For the past 2 years, I've had this Minecraft world where I'm only allowed to use my fist. Today I'll show you the crazy things I've achieved in this world with no tools, weapons, armor, or shields. There's honestly not very much to say about this part. This was the first video and I literally just beat the game. I fought blazes, I fought endermen, and I just killed the dragon. Also, I just wanted to mention that the editing will be a bit hard for me from this point on, since I don't have the original footage and I'm re-editing already heavily edited footage, so just keep that in mind. It'll get better once I get to the new part though.
How did we get here? It's the hardest achievement in all of Minecraft.
Where you need to get every single effect in the game at the same time. It's been 2 years since I did How Did We Get Here, and it still feels like yesterday. It was probably my favourite time on this world. I set an insane goal, no one had done it before, but it was possible, and I was determined to do it. The first thing I did was breed some turtles, because I needed the Potion of the Turtle Master. While I waited for the turtles to breed, I planned out my whole run and realised the next step was to get a conduit. A conduit is crafted with nautilus shells, and they drop from drowns. But since I have no weapons, I had to do something else instead. I went fishing. I fished for hours and days and weeks, actually maybe not weeks, until I finally had 8 nautilus shells, which I crafted with my Heart of the Sea to make my conduit. In Minecraft, there is one really easy way to get a lot of blocks quickly. Can you guess what it is? You're absolutely right, it's TNT. Because I can't use pickaxes, my only option to get blocks is TNT, so I got some cats and created a gunpowder farm. By the way, I've made a playlist with every tutorial I've used in this world, which I put down below in the description. If you like one of the farms I've used and want to build it yourself, it's in the playlist. Anyway, I finished my gunpowder farm and it was actually really good for a 20-minute build. And what better way to celebrate this than creating an iron farm too? You see, iron is one of the most important resources in all of Minecraft, used for just about everything, and I really needed a good supply of it. I forced 3 villagers into captivity and then set up a piston mechanism that constantly raised and lowered a zombie to scare them. This farm probably has many human rights violations, but it gave me some iron, so let's just ignore that. The next step of my plan was one I'd been dreading since I came up with the video idea. Getting an Elder Guardian. An Elder Guardian is a massive fish thing? I don't know, it doesn't matter. The point is, it gives you mining fatigue. It's found deep in the ocean and I need to somehow carry it to the surface and then several hundred blocks away. It's hell. So anyway, I spent 3 hours punching trees so I could make enough blocks to bridge 1,000 blocks over to the ocean monument. I crafted a ton of rails, but while I was running back to my base, I discovered something. You see, mining fatigue lasts for 5 minutes, and the run back only took 4 minutes. It's enough time, but it's a bit too close for comfort, so I decided to go get an elytra. I got some blocks and went to get an elytra, but it turns out I didn't have enough blocks, so I ran back, and I died, with all my food. I had to cook all my fish from the start. The next step was a lot worse though. To make a beacon, I needed wither skeleton skulls. A 3% drop from a mob that makes you wither away if it touches you. And I needed 3 of them. What happened next was just so perfect, I'm not even re-editing this next part, just watch it.
Why are there so many normal skeletons? I don't want normal skeletons. I want quirky skeletons. Not like the other skeletons. Emo skeletons. Oh! Oh my god! I need to get back!
After a few hours, I had all the wither skulls, and I went to fight the wither. It wasn't really a fair fight though, because I just trapped it in bedrock. I got the wither to kill an axolotl as well, so I could get a wither rose. Also, in the original video I did some stupidly overcomplicated method, where I waited until the axolotl started suffocating, so it would be low enough to get killed by the wither, instead of just punching it until it was low. I don't know what was going on in my head, but After this, I got some prismarine and got a dolphin who I called Name. Remember that for later, it's important. The next step was even worse than getting the Elder Guardian, mainly because I actually had to do this one. I had to get a shulker. If you didn't already know, dealing with shulkers is just torture. They constantly shoot you with bullets that make you levitate. You can't just push them into a boat. And they keep killing themselves. Oh, and also, if it hits itself, you have to deal with 2 shulkers. Doesn't that sound like fun? And also, the bridge I needed to make. You remember what I did to get all the blocks to the bridge to the monument? You wanna guess what I did again? I think talking about shulkers is making me go insane. Anyway, I put rails on the bridge and got shulker to the main end island. The next hurdle though was getting it through the portal. I initially tried some weird thing with slabs to force it to teleport into the portal, but it didn't work, so eventually I just put it in a boat, rode it into the portal, and broke the boat with a snowball. Basically, after this, I just had to get potions and I was basically done. Alright, How Did We Get Here also needs Hero of the Village and Bad Omen, which means I had to make a raid farm. It's not really a farm, I guess, it's just a hole that makes it easy to beat the raid. I beat the raid and I went to the place where I put everything, and I finally got How Did We Get Here.
For some reason it won't give me Dolphin's Grace. This dolphin hates me or something.
Except I didn't. It turns out that dolphins only give Dolphin's Grace to an invisible player if they are wearing armor. For about 10 minutes, I had to contemplate the fact that I just did this all for months, not to get the advancement. Then I realized I can just splash the invis after the dolphin, and I got it. This chapter's a lot shorter than the last one, so please stay with me. To beat the Warden, I discovered it would take 8 End Crystals and some Obsidian. Now, normally End Crystals aren't that hard to get, but in this world it's very difficult. You need a Ghast here to craft an End Crystal, dropped by a Ghast. Now, Ghasts are massive, flying, balloon ghosts? I don't know, it doesn't matter. The point is, they are massive, they fly, and they live above massive oceans of lava. Normally you would shoot them with a bow, but I don't have a bow, and I can't be bothered to wait for them to spawn so I can hit their fireballs back. I needed a Ghast farm. Now, normally a Ghast farm is made with Wither Roses to kill them quickly, but because I only have 1 Wither Rose, I had to find a farm that didn't use them, and that's how I found this amazing farm. The first thing I needed was Obsidian. Because I don't have a diamond pickaxe, if I give a piglin some gold, it'll give me some obsidian, if it's feeling kind today. So I also needed a gold farm. Now I was hoping to use this really cool efficient farm, but it needs turtle eggs. To get a turtle egg you need silk touch, and I can't use any tools. Because of this, I had to settle for a really early game gold farm, which was essentially just a hole in the ground with some chests. I used the farm for about an hour, and I had a grand total of 4 gold ingots. I know the drop rates are abysmal, but the XP they dropped mended my elytra fully, meaning I could fly for even longer. Despite my mixed feelings about the gold farm, I had to just deal with it for now since I had a massive task ahead of me. Getting slime. Because the Ghast farm uses a flying machine instead of Wither Roses, I needed slime blocks. Slime is dropped by, well, slimes, which spawn in swamps during a full moon, and also in random areas of the world known as a slime chunk. Slime farms are made by digging out an entire slime chunk, which is a 16 by 16 by god knows what area. So guess what I did for over 3 hours? I took the first option and killed them in the swamp. Did you really think I was mining out a whole chunk? I went back home and started building the Ghast farm. I got shot off by skeletons too many times. I kept falling off, and I even had to fight some random Ghasts that spawned. The farm was done, so I just grabbed some Ghast tears, got some ender pearls and obsidian, crafted the end crystals and flew off to the ancient city. I made an obsidian hole and I killed the warden. I did it. I didn't even need 8, I only needed 7. This video was so long that I have to leave out over half of it so this video doesn't go on for hours and hours. I've essentially lobotomized this chapter, cause it's just too long. I'm also going to try and go as quickly as possible. If you want to watch the whole thing, I'll link it at the end. Basically, I want every advancement that is possible in a fist-only world. To get the main 4 advancements, I have to go to every biome, kill every mob, eat everything, and breed everything. There's an advancement you get for killing a skeleton from 50 blocks away called Sniper Duel. Normally you'd use a bow, but what I did is, I trapped a skeleton in a boat, punched it once, filled a dispenser with arrows, and set it off from 50 blocks away to get the advancement. Oh yeah, remember how I made that horrible gold farm? I actually wanted gold this time, so I decided it was time to make a new one. I found a really good farm, but it needs 4,000 magma blocks, so I had to make a magma farm. After building it, I left it AFK for 10 hours, and I could start building the gold farm. It needed 2 large rings of magma, which wasn't hard to make. However, the farm tells you to use your best sword to damage them enough, and I don't have a sword. So I just put my only wither rose and some powdered snow in the farm, and let me tell you, this farm is amazing. The next advancement I wanted was called Bullseye. Now, Bullseye is easy to get if you have a bow and a piston, but I don't have a bow, and I tried looking up how to get it without a bow. I couldn't find anything online, so I had to make my own contraption. I made a bubble column, threw some snowballs in, and pushed a target block down into the snowballs with a piston from 30 blocks away, and I got the advancement. Anyway, now that I have all this gold now, I really needed to use it, so I made a piglin bartering farm. I forced 3 piglins into a glass cage as if they were in a zoo, and made a sorting system. I know, this violates even more human rights, pigman rights, but it gave me all this obsidian, so let's just ignore that. I now needed to kill the Elder Guardian from the How Did We Get Here bit. I kidnapped an axolotl, put my beacon with strength above the monument, and went in. I don't know how, but the Elder Guardian died really quickly. Oh my god, what? That was so quick! I also accidentally discovered a way to not drown. Just spam a bucket against a wall. Neat. But when I got home, I noticed something heartbreaking. You remember Name the Dolphin from earlier? He was dead. The lead was lying broken on the floor, and he was nowhere in sight. That dolphin was 1.5 years old. In honor of his memory, I put a sign up and had a minute of silence. It was a sad day for this world. Also, I lied earlier, it really wasn't that important. The next thing I had to do was kill a piglin brute. Piglin brutes are insanely strong and can annihilate you in 2 hits. So I went to kill it. You're joking. Let me up. After that, I went to kill a cave spider, and I got the advancement for killing every hostile mob. I went to go breed some mobs until I found a donkey. I found a horse and bred it with my donkey to get a mule, but I needed to find another donkey as well. After searching for ages on the donkey, I fell into powdered snow, and it was then that I realized how dangerous this truly was. I was attached to the donkey now. I couldn't let it get hurt. So I brought it to the nearby village and left it in a safe place. Maybe I was dealing with the loss of Name the Dolphin, but I just didn't want to lose the donkey too. I now needed frog lights, which was a massive pain. There are 3 different types of frog, and to get them you have to breed them in different types of biomes. Then you needed to eat a magma cube to get a frog light. I bred some frogs in the swamp, kidnapped their children, and found an area with all 3 types of biomes right next to each other. I put 1 tadpole in each biome and waited until they grew up. Then I made a portal, brought a magma cube to the frogs, and got an advancement. Now I needed to ride a strider over 50 blocks of lava in the overworld. The problem is that striders spawn in the nether. I found a lava pool, built a portal, and brought Strider to the overworld. I then dug a 50 block trench of lava, and I rode the Strider over it to get the advancement. There was one specific advancement out of the 9 I had left that would be a massive pain. Surge Protector, where you have to have lightning strike a lightning rod near a villager. The problem is that thunderstorms are really rare, and I wanted to get every advancement before day 500. It was day 470. I wanted this advancement so badly that I began to constantly carry around a lightning rod with me. I ate a rabbit stew and I finally got the advancement for eating everything. I then went to get an ancient debris from a bastion and I got another advancement. Now I had to do an advancement called an Uneasy Alliance, where you have to kill a ghast in the overworld. I found a really helpful contraption for it and I started building it, but when I went to make a bigger portal in the overworld, I saw the sky. It was dark and flashing with lightning. There was a thunderstorm. I flew around looking for a village and I got the advancement.
Yes! 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 Oh my god! Yes!
Then I went back to using the ghast machine and I also got the ghast advancement. There was just one thing left to do now. I crafted some end crystals and I respawned the dragon, getting my final advancements. I then killed her. Yes, it's a her. It was day 480, and yes, I made it before day 500. Okay, it took quite a while, but now we're finally done recapping and can get to the new stuff. I just wanted to say that if you've watched this far, then please consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to reach 600 subs, and I will do more stuff like this. Okay, back to the video. I literally just went AFK at my farms for 150 Minecraft days. I'm not joking. The only clip I have between days 480 and 630 is this clip from day 500 where I crafted my iron. And let me tell you, this is when I start to get stacked. After hours and hours of AFKing, I had enough gold and obsidian to build my solid gold PFP. I built the frame out of obsidian and then filled it with 100 days worth of gold. I'm an idiot, it was muted. So you remember that raid farm from earlier, if you can even call it a farm? It's slow and it's inefficient. Every time I use it, I have to go back to the pillager outpost and kill another pillager captain. I wanted a lot of emeralds, so I decided to make an actual raid farm this time. I found a really good design and I went to get the materials for it. I got some kelp, water, lava, and redstone components and headed to a village that was nearby a pillager outpost and a massive ocean. The perfect spot for a raid farm. Then I figured that I might need a strength beacon so I can actually kill the mobs, so I went to get my beacon. Need to get my beacon from... How do we get here island? Looks so cool. Shut up.
No, my dolphin!
Anyway, I built the farm and I just had to kidnap another villager. I swear the Red Cross is gonna come after me after this video. I made a copy of the world to test the farm and then... I couldn't regenerate fast enough. Oh boy, I need another beacon! And so I spent several more hours of my life farming emo skeletons. When I finally had 3 skulls, I kidnapped some fish and sacrificed them to the Wither to get some more diseased flowers. I placed down my second beacon at the mob farm, and I should now not be able to die, right? Oh my god. At least now I have totems in my hotbar, so it doesn't happen again. Anyway, after a very long time of AFKing, I think I managed to make up for what I lost. Look at my levels, and now look at my inventory. I also went to visit this amazing landscape. And now it's time for everyone's favourite activity, enslaving more villagers, this time for a villager breeder. I went to the village near me, placed some rails down, and moved a villager to the very edge of land. I then put it in a boat and rowed across the ocean to get it to my base. Then I did it again, built the villager breeder and trapped them inside it. I gave them a few stacks of bread and the farm was now working. Now that I have an infinite supply of villagers, I started making their trading huts. The second one of the babies grew up, so I sent him to work as a farmer, and I now have an infinite supply of golden carrots. I also got some clerics for redstone, glowstone and lapis, and some librarians for mending, unbreaking and bookshelves. When a villager is killed by a zombie, it becomes a zombie villager. When you cure the zombie villager, it gives you a massive discount on everything, forever. Now, I wanted to do this, but zombies burn in sunlight, and I thought it would be really inconvenient to keep placing blocks above it. So I brought a husk all the way from the desert to my base, because they don't burn in sunlight, and now my villagers give me discounts. I went to go pay my donkey a visit, and then I got some wood. And I mean a lot of wood. I also found the strangest village I've ever seen. Then I went home and got some toolsmiths, who I could trade iron to for emeralds. Also, I tried lighting up the entire spawn island so nothing could spawn, but I wasn't very successful. And as a final thing, because I'm so rich, I made an entire stack of golden apples for emergencies. You might be wondering why this video took so long to come out, and this is why. The last chapter was recorded last October, in October 2023. This next part, it was recorded in February 2024. Most people procrastinate assignments or chores around their house, but I was procrastinating Minecraft. I was procrastinating something that's supposed to be fun. I came back after 4 months and I had a goal. I wanted end crystals. I AFK'd at my ghast farm for a few hours so I could make a lot of them, but when I went down to the farm, I saw that the collection system was broken, and I got nothing. All because of this, I wanted a new ghast farm. Remember how I said earlier that the really good ghast farms needed a ton of wither roses? I decided I was going to get more wither roses. I found a good farm design which uses snow golems. I went around getting snow and pumpkins, and then I farmed emo skeletons even more. I finally had enough to build the farm, and I ended up having to dig a massive room in the endstone, which you can probably guess took forever. I wonder when else I had to do something like this. Anyway, the farm was finally complete, and I just had to use it for a bit to get all the wither roses. Once I had enough, I killed the wither and got my 3rd nether star. I now had all the materials for the grass farm, but I couldn't carry it. I ended up having to go to the end and getting 5 more shulker boxes so I could carry everything. After a few hours of dealing with annoying ghasts, the farm was done, and it was amazing. It might even be better than my creeper farm for gunpowder, but I don't know, I never compared them. At this point, I was running out of both fuel and ideas, but then I realized what could solve both of those problems: a blaze farm. But it turns out building the blaze farm really wasn't fun. I was constantly being attacked while I was forced to mine out a massive area of nether brick with no tools. I even put down a haste 2 beacon, but it was still insanely slow. And the longer I stayed there, the more mobs spawned. But finally I had finished digging that massive cube and I could build the rest of the farm. I'm not even joking, digging out that area took an hour or 2, while the rest of the farm took 20 minutes. I also switched my beacon power to strength so I could kill the blazes faster, and it was done. I finally had all the materials to craft those end crystals, so I crafted them and went on a rampage.
Oh, for God's sake. You said spider. Let's go. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a bit dangerous. For me as well. I shouldn't use this all the time, just against really strong stuff. Like an iron golem, or a warden, or a pillager, or a piglin brood. Or maybe just a massive mob of piglins. I can try it against the enderman. Hopefully a skeleton won't shoot it and instantly destroy. Give me that grass block. I'll treasure that. That a baby zombie. Oh god, yeah, it is. Get killed. Maybe I can go kill that golem. He's stuck. For me to set, I set him free just so I can come kill him. I got to hit it. Oh my god, I actually have no totems now. I'm so dumb.
Because I lost so many totems, I had to go do something I dreaded. I had to go back to the raid farm. But it went well this time. I didn't die and I think I got too many totems. Now at this point it was day 840. I still had 160 days left, and I had a list of things I wanted to do. The problem is I didn't want to do them. This challenge, the fist only challenge, that was no longer the challenge. The challenge was keeping motivated. I had to keep pushing myself to just get to day 1000 and just a few more hours left. I wanted to reach day 1000 and I made a list of what to do, but I just couldn't motivate myself to do that. I went weeks and months between doing each little thing, but I felt like I had nothing left to do. I would need a really massive project to get me to day 1000.
I want to build the Eiffel Tower out of iron. I don't know how to build the Eiffel Tower. Okay, let's see how much iron I have to see if I can build that massive one. I probably can't, but I could. I'm not sure. Okay, this massive one needs 7,385 blocks. I have 1,261. I'm not making that big one. But how many stacks would I need? 115 stacks. I do not have that much. I cannot get that much. I'm not doing that. I need a smaller Eiffel Tower. I want to build that massive one, but I just can't. Unless I don't use iron. Will I do it? Am I going to build an Eiffel Tower? Cause the amount I'd need is actually insane. How would you get that much on a fist-only world?
But surely I won't build that Eiffel Tower. I have no tools, it needs 7,000 blocks, and it will take hours upon hours to build. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna build the Polished andesite is an insanely random block to get 7,000 of. How would I even do that on a fist-only world with no pickaxe? The answer was, again, slavery. It turns out that mason villagers have a chance to sell polished andesite when you level them up. Keyword, a chance. I put some more villagers to work and got a mason with polished andesite on the first try, but after that we ran into some issues. I got some more andesite trades and bought from each villager every day until we ran into some more issues. You see, the more you trade with a villager, the higher the demand is, and we all know supply and demand. If the supply stays the same and the demand increases, the prices will also increase. And unfortunately, it's like this in Minecraft too. As you can tell, I was just a little bit annoyed by this. Anyway, after about a day, I had nearly all the andesite, but my villagers had raised their prices even more. So I decided to wait a bit for them to go down, and I started to build a platform for the Eiffel Tower. I placed down scaffolding, destroyed whatever was in the way, and started to build a 40x40 black stone platform. Also, I think the Red Cross found me while I was building it. It was finally time to start building it. By the way, I just wanted to say that the tutorial for this was really helpful. The guy in the tutorial somehow managed to build the whole thing and show us how to do it, so go check it out after this. I started building the first leg, thinking it wouldn't take that long. It took me 3 hours to finish the first leg. Here's me building the Eiffel Tower. I know in the script this chapter was really short, but it genuinely took me 2 days to build this. I started getting the resources on day 840. I finished it on day 936. Building diagonally is really hard, especially when it takes me ages to fix a misplacement. And the Eiffel Tower was absolutely beautiful. It looked so real that I put a screenshot of it on my phone, and it recognized it as the real-life Eiffel Tower, not just some Minecraft blocks. It was day 936, and the Eiffel Tower was done. I honestly didn't have very much left to do, but I still had 60 days, which is equivalent to 10 hours if I sleep, and 20 hours if I don't sleep. I filled in the Eiffel Tower's platform, of course it's hollow, and I lit the platform up with glowstone. The next thing I wanted to do was to get the best music discs, Otherside and Pigstep. I didn't know Relic was a thing until I wrote this script. I would have gotten it if I knew. I decided to find Otherside first, so I went back to the ancient city. I flew around for a while and found an Otherside disc, and then literally a minute later I found another. I also found the cat music disc. It was all going well until I spawned a warden and had to leave. But I couldn't find the exit, and while flying around to find the exit, I spawned 5 more. I eventually found the exit though, and then I went home to listen to my new music discs. The next disc I wanted was Pigstep. It's found rarely in bastions, which are full of the piglin brutes from earlier. I brewed some fire resistance potions and headed off in search of a bastion. And then this happened.
That a bastion? I think it is. Yes. No! I'm so stupid! Where was I? I need to check.
So I grabbed my spare elytra, some totems, and I went to trace my steps back to the bastion. And then I almost died again. And again. I kept looking in chests, but I just couldn't find Pigstep. So that trip was a failure. I shamefully put everything back, and then I went to visit my emo skeleton. And at this point, the challenge became staying motivated again. I had so much time left and nothing to do, so I went back to my list of things I wanted to do but didn't want to do. I wanted to make a massive 100 by 100 nether portal, but sadly there's some random 23 by 23 limit, so I just built that instead. It looks quite pathetic, but I had the materials for the 100 by 100 one. My next task was building a roller coaster. I made a track out of blackstone and added rails to it. It starts at my base, goes to the Eiffel Tower, goes to the solid gold PFP, goes behind the villagers, goes on How Did We Get Here Island, and then over the ocean back to the start. And as the final human rights violation in this world, I kidnapped a villager and sentenced him to ride the roller coaster forever. At this point, I had nothing left that I wanted to do until day 999. It was day 960. So I'm not even joking, I stood there by the bed just sleeping when it became night. It took 6 hours, but I came back at day 997. I enchanted my flint and steel, brush and shears, all with mending and unbreaking. You remember when I made that gold farm, how I only had 1 wither rose, so I added some powdered snow too. It was finally time to change that. I went over to the gold farm and replaced the powdered snow with wither roses, after 700 days. After that, I started building my last thing on this world, a big 1000. I built it out of lapis, emeralds, iron, gold, and redstone, the core renewable resources. It was finished on day 999. The last thing I needed to do was to go on a tour of the world.
It's day 1000. This has taken so long. And I'm gonna do my last tour of the world. Obviously we've got the Eiffel Tower, which I spent 100 days building. My solid gold profile picture, day 1000, 23 by 23 Nether Portal, villager breeder, and load of villagers, some unpaid mandatory workers here. Oh, let's buy a cake actually. He sells a cake. We've got a cake. Where else can I go now? How did we get here, Island? How could I not? This is where Name the Dolphin was. Name badly died. I don't know how. I just came back, he was gone. All my wither roses. Obviously the massive roller coaster. Creeper farm. It's quite good. I've got a lot of gunpowder. This is my iron farm. It's got a ton of iron inside it. All of this is probably more than I've had in every single Minecraft world other than this combined together. And I think it's time for the Nether. Yeah, Nether. The very first fortress I went to. Here is my... Oh wait, there's so many landmarks here. This exact spot is where I found the emo skeleton. This is the Blaze farm. It's got one of my beacons on it. Piglin farm is here. Piglin bartering farm. There's lots of gold left over. Here is the magma farm. I had to use this to get all the magma blocks I needed. It was really good. It made me a ton of magma. This is the gold farm. It's got a lot of gold. Like, so much. Come on, hurry up. I need to get to the end quickly. Okay, here is the end. This is the portal. This is also where I did the Wither Rose farm. Okay, wait. I need to change my skin quickly. Really quickly.
I decided I would give my Mario skin from the earlier videos one last look at the world.
It's been a good world. I've done so much in this world that I would not even think of doing in another world. I would not do that Eiffel Tower again. I would not get all that gold. I would not get all that iron. But right now, I'm glad I did all of that. This has been an amazing world. And all good things come to an end. Goodbye. It's over. Day 1001. I didn't even use the cake. I am so stupid.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing as I'm nearly at 600 subs. If you have any suggestions for what I should do next, feel free to leave a comment. Also, I had to cut a lot out to make this video shorter, so if you want to see everything, then I'll link the original videos in the description. Please also consider liking and leaving a comment, because this video took a lot of time and sanity to make. Thank you for watching. Also, I forgot to go visit my donkey. Don't worry, I'm with him now.